Oh boy, so exactly 3 weeks from today, in fact, at this time of day, I should be either on the bus getting close to the Athletes Village or I should be there by now. Last year, my bus was running late. So if you're not familiar with the way that the Boston Marathon is set up, it's a point-to-point marathon, meaning that they bus you away from the finish line at 26.2 miles, and then you run your way back into Boston. You know, that's unlike Chicago, for example, that is basically a loop where you finish basically where you start. So that being said, what happens is you need to board a bus that takes you out to the start line, or out to the Athletes Village, and then you walk to the start line. And my bus was running late last year. You know, it took well over an hour. I think it was like an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes, something like that. It was running so late that by the time I got there, I really didn't have a whole lot of extra time. In fact, I had no extra time at all. The first restrooms I came to, I stood in line and waited to use the porta potties, which they basically tell you not to do because there's additional porta potties, past the first staging area, because it's basically two staging areas in the Athletes Village. But because we were running so late, I looked up and I thought, okay, that line's not too bad. I'll jump in it. But before I even got up there to use the bathroom, they were already calling for my wave. And so, of course, this is my first time there. And my heart starts to race a little bit because now my anxiety's up because my wave is basically starting to make their way up to the start line area without me. So, all worked out just fine. I stayed in the line that I was in. I used the porta potty, and then I started headed up to, to catch up with my group. It's about, oh gosh, I forget now, but it's a bit of a walk to the start from Athletes Village. So, there was time for me to catch up. And then once I got there, there's a pretty good area there as well that you can use the restrooms and that kind of thing before you finish your trek to the start. So anyway, it was a little bit nerve-wracking for me at the time because I didn't, I hadn't experienced all of that before. But now I know. Now I know that I don't need to worry so much about trying to jump in line. I can, if I need to, I can use the restroom when I get much closer to the start of the race. And there was lots and lots of areas in order to do that. They were pretty efficient about that. So kudos to them. Not as good as New York. New York was probably my favorite corral area because they had porta potties right there with you. Once you got into your corral, you could still use the bathrooms. And that was a first for me. I hadn't experienced that in any race before. So kudos to New York. I really love that idea. I wish others would adopt it as well. But so 3 weeks from today. 3 weeks from today. So boy, starting to really get excited. In fact, last night I started going through my checklist of things. I got a pretty long list of stuff that I want to make sure that I have to take with me. And so, I'm going through to kind of see where I'm at and the kinds of things I still need to gather up. So I'll be good to go on race day. All right. So for today, it's an endurance workout. So I'm back on my stationary bike. I'm still not running. I don't know. I'm a little concerned. Yesterday, I tried to just run in place a little bit to see, what it might feel like without actually running. And, I could still feel it. So, that's a little concerning, a little troublesome for me, but still, I'm hanging in there and I'm staying positive and, never give up. So, I'm just going to have to, like I said before, it might be just literally a race day decision as to the approach that I take. So anyway, let's talk about today's workout. So I'm going to go for 90 minutes to start out at an easy pace, and then I'm going to pick up the pace and try to go at a marathon effort for 60 minutes with 10 minutes to cool down. So an hour and a half at easy, an hour at marathon effort, and then 10 minutes to cool down is what Garmin has on tap for me today. All right. I'm going to get into this one because it's a long workout. You know, I got up early. You can probably still tell that the sun isn't exactly up just yet. You know, and because it's such a long workout, you know, I woke up this morning, as I often do, much earlier than I want, because I value trying to get enough rest and sleep, but it's just, sometimes it's just not in the cards. You can lay there as long as you want to, and you just never fall back asleep. And that's what happened to me today. I woke up around 3 a.m. or so, and I laid there for another hour and a half trying to get back to sleep, and it just wasn't happening. It wasn't happening today. So I thought I might better well just get up and start my day, and then later this afternoon, if I need to lay down and get a little bit of rest, whether I take a nap or just lay down and rest, you know, I will do that. I will do that if I need to. All right, I'm going to get into this workout, and you know, I'll take you along with me, and we'll chat a little bit as I make my way through the next 2 hours and 40 minutes. All right, let's get this one done. Oh, so I'm in the first few minutes here, just beginning to turn my legs over. Hour and a half at an easy pace before we pick it up to marathon effort. So I've got several bottles of water, I think 5 in total. I'm using GNARLY Hydration mix today, but I didn't put it in every single bottle. I put it in every other one. So I have about 3 bottles of GNARLY made up. And that's because of the last time that I put it in every bottle, you know, it didn't set well with me at the end of the workout for some reason. I think it was just, like I said before, kind of too much of a good thing. So today I just went with every other one, and I'm really starting out with just plain water. And then the next one will have the hydration mix in it. And then I'll go back to plain water and so on. And we'll just see how that goes. And the reason I did that really is because this first bottle's already about half gone. So I guess really it's about 4.5 bottles of water today, but that should be fine. For 2.5 hours of work and then that 10 minutes to cool down, I think, you know, 4.5 should be fine. And if it's not, I'm just a few steps away from my refrigerator. I can grab more if I need to. That's one of the beauties of working out in my living room. That's not my first choice. I've mentioned that many times before. But we make the most out of what we have available to us. So that's what I'm doing today. All right. I'm going to get into this workout because we got a long ways to go. I'm going to find something interesting to watch on television. It'll be a GCN video. I do prefer to watch those. I try to find ones that are about an hour long. And, you know, that just gives me, I don't know, it kind of chunks it up, I guess. So that I know that if I'm watching an hour long workout video, that I only have to get through that hour-long video 2.5 times, and my workout is over. So it kind of gives me a goal, I guess, to look forward to by chunking it up into smaller pieces. It just seems to make it a bit more manageable for me. So, all right, I'm gonna let you go for now. Okay, so you're likely to see my heart rate drop, even though it's not up that high right now. Oh my goodness, I've got all kinds. I'm just going to start this workout all over again. I'm only about 5 minutes into it. I'd forgotten to turn my Garmin on. I forgot to put my heart rate monitor on. Oh, it could be a very, very long 2 hours and 40 minutes today. All right, I'm going to jump off my stationary bike and grab my heart rate monitor. Oh my goodness. We're going to get this one done, I promise. We're just off to a little bit of a rough start today. Oh my goodness. Okay. I am back, and I have my heart rate monitor, so I'm going to slip that on. And then we're going to get back into this workout. Oh, some days, some days. So I'm about 40 minutes in. And I'd say so far so good. My heart rate is, it's been pretty low, which is not a bad thing on an easy portion of the workout. I've gone through about 1.5 bottles of water, so we'll see how that goes. But what I've been doing is chunking it up as I've done in the past in 20-minute segments. So, I come up out of the saddle, kind of lowering my cadence but upping the resistance for about 18 minutes. And then I'll sit back down in the saddle like I am now, and I'll get a drink, spin my legs out a little faster, a little less resistance for a couple minutes, and then I repeat that process. So, it kind of chunks it up for 2.5 hours. It means, I'll be doing that, 2 hours, 40 minutes. I'll be doing that for, 8 different times throughout the session. So, all right, I'm gonna let you go for now. So one of the things I'm going to do differently this year, going to Boston, as I turn my resistance down just a little bit, is to take a little bit warmer clothes. Last year, the weather was supposed to be warmer than it turned out to be. Plus, it seemed like it was really windy there, and Kim and I both got cold. So, I did have enough clothes with me, but I had to really layer up. Long sleeve shirt, hoodie, my marathon training jacket over the top of that. So this year I'm going to be taking probably my little puffer jacket from Nathan. I love that coat. It's really lightweight, super warm, so it's easy to pack. But that's one of the things that I would definitely say, that's a mistake I've made twice now. Once in Bayshore, and I had to borrow clothes from my son, who lived in the area at the time. And then again in Boston. So I'm definitely going to take some warmer clothes this year. I'd rather have warmer clothes available than to be cold walking around the city of Boston. So, all right, I'm almost done with the first hour and a half at the easy pace. A couple more minutes, and then I'm going to get into the marathon effort, which again would be my heart rate up in the 150s. Right now my watch is 129. 129 beats per minute. So, all right. I will probably now won't touch base until I get into that cool down phase. All right, let's keep pushing on. Let's keep pushing on. Never give up. Keep pushing on. All right, you guys. I'll see you in about an hour and a half. So I'm in that 10-minute cool down. Boy, I tell you, these long workouts, they're mentally challenging for sure. So, aside from building up my cardiovascular system to go, to work hard for the amount of time it's going to take for me to get through the marathon, it's also helping me to build, mentally, to know that, I can make it through. That when my body's tired and so on, that, I can still push on. So, building that mental toughness, I think is just as important as, building up my leg strength and my cardio system and all that. So, oh boy. I'm going to finish spinning my legs out here, and then we'll take a quick look at the numbers. Whew. Boy, my clothes are just heavy with sweat. And I don't know if this happens to you guys, but after I'm done working out, even though it's only been a couple of seconds here since I stopped, that sweat, it, in my clothing, makes me feel cold. Makes me feel really cold. So I'm anxious to get all this stuff off of me. All right, so let's take a quick look at the numbers. 2 hours and 42 minutes was the total length of the workout. 46.88 miles is how far I went. 256 was the average power. And the frequency or the cadence was 74 on average. So All right. Oh my gosh, I am glad to have that one done and in the books. I'm just dripping with sweat. I'm kind of going to back up here a little bit so that my mat underneath my bike will catch the sweat here. Oh my gosh. You know, as I said just a second ago, you know, it's building up your mental toughness. These long workouts, especially on my stationary bike in my living room. You could not ask for a more boring activity, in my opinion. You know, aside from what a lot of people refer to as the treadmill, because it just gets boring. You know, I love being outside. You get to see, you know, a lot of different things, especially when I'm trail running. But if I'm running around town, I get to say hi to my neighbors and all that kind of good stuff. And I'm deprived of that, you know, in my living room. So I'm glad to have it over with. I'm glad to have that one done. All right, you guys. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it for you. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Whew.